last class we have seen about Kirchhoff's law. Where we are going to use the Kirchhoff's law. So at all the places we can't use the Ohm's law or I can't use the formulae where we are seen for resistance connected in series and in parallel. So if the circuit connections are connected in a complicated way, there we are going to use the Kirchhoff's law. Two laws we have seen. One is the Kirchhoff's first law, the other one is the Kirchhoff's second law. First law is called the current law. The second law is called the voltage law. First law is a consequence of conservation of charges. Second law, it's a consequence of conservation of energy. So these two laws are very important. And you know what is meant by EMF? What do we call it as EMF? Is it a force? What is meant by EMF? Electromotive force. It is not a force. It is a work done in moving a charge from one point to another point, from one terminal to another terminal. So I can define this EMF. We are going to see what is the major difference between this electromotive force and the potential difference. Here, the EMF is nothing but the difference in potential between the two terminals. This is very important. Between the two terminals of a cell in an open circuit. That force we call it as the electromotive force. That is the work done in moving a charge from one terminal to another terminal in a cell. It should be an open circuit. This EMF, it will not depend upon the external resistance. Then what is potential difference? It is nothing but the difference of potential between any two points in a closed circuit. Between any two points in a closed circuit, that we call it as the potential difference. This is very important. You should know the major difference between what is meant by EMF and what is meant by potential difference. Here, this potential difference, it is between any two points in a closed circuit. So here, this potential difference, it is directly proportional to the resistance of the circuit. So this is a major difference. Now we will go what is a cell and how a cell works. Can you say what is a cell? What for we are using the cell? It converts. To draw the current only we are going to use a cell. It converts chemical energy into electrical energy. In a cell, what are the two major parts? One, the electrode. The other one is the electrolyte. So this is the way how we are going to represent cell. Here I have a glass vessel in which I have electrolyte. Here I have two rods. When I connect this like this, chemical reactions take place in this electrolyte, and because of this chemical reaction, here the ions will be dissociated and some of the positive ions will be moving towards one electrode or one rod. So the rod where the positive ions are moving towards, see here the electrolyte will be dissociated and positive and negative ions are formed due to the chemical reactions between the rod and the electrolyte. Because of this chemical reactions, the positive ions will be moving towards a particular rod. So the rod in which the positive ions are moving, that rod we call it as the cathode. That rod we call it as the cathode. So the rod to which the positive ions are moving, that we call it as the cathode. So it will be having a negative sign. Here negative ions will be moving towards a particular rod. That we call it as that rod we call it as the anode. So these two we call it as electrode, and the solution in which the rods are dipped, that we call it as the electrolyte of the solution of the cell. So this is the way we are going to represent the cell electrolyte. Yeah. So this we call it as the positive electrode, and this we call it as the negative electrode. Negative electrode we call it as the cathode, and the positive electrode we call it as the anode. Here towards this anode, that is the positive electrode, which ions are moving? Negative ions are moving. These negative ions which are moving towards the positive electrode, we call it as anions. And here these positive ions which are moving towards the negative electrode, we call it as cations. This is the way how we are going to describe a cell and its working. So what is the major use of a cell? It converts chemical energy into electrical energy. Here we are going to draw a current from the cell. Now we have seen what is the major difference between EMF and potential difference. And what are the major parts of a cell? Then in the Wheatstone bridge network, what we have seen, the balancing condition of this Wheatstone bridge network is P by Q equal to R by S, where P, Q, R, S are the nothing but the resistors connected here. Now we are going to see the practical application of this Wheatstone bridge network or balancing condition where we are going to use it. One important one is meter bridge. Meter bridge. Using this meter bridge instrument, we can find out the resistance of the given wire, and I can also find out the specific resistance of the given wire. This is an important application of your Wheatstone bridge network. Here in this meter bridge, it consists of a thick copper strip. AC is the meter bridge wire. So these are your copper strips connected here. This is your resistance P, this is your Q. These are two gaps, G1 and G2. Or it is connector. This again connector. Connect it to a galvanometer. The high resistance. High resistance. Again it is connected to a battery. P. Galvanometer, high resistance, and the jacket. So this meter bridge wire, it consists of 6 strips of copper. See here, these are the 6 strips of copper which has negligible resistance. So this is your meter bridge. Here in this meter bridge, it consists of 6 strips of copper of negligible resistance. They are made up of 6 strips of copper which is having negligible resistance, and it is connected to a wooden cardboard, and it is connected to a wooden board. There are two gaps G1 and G2. In these two gaps, I am going to connect unknown resistance, and in this gap G2, I am going to connect a standard resistance. So this is the way. And to the center, I have a galvanometer connected to a high resistance and a jacket. To this another circuit, this wire AC is your meter bridge wire. It is made up of manganese. See here, already I told you. For making standard resistance, we are using the alloy manganese. Why? Because manganese has a, yes, it has low temperature coefficient of resistance, or I can say its temperature coefficient of resistance is negligible. So that is why we are using a manganese wire here. AC is your meter bridge wire of length 1 meter. Here to this center, I am connecting a galvanometer, high resistance, and to a jacky. Using this jacky only, I am going to make a contact in this wire. So here, from the point A, this wire, which is made up of manganese, is soldered here at these 2 points in the thick copper strip. So these are all your thick copper strips where I am going to connect the unknown resistance and the known resistance. This is a very good application for your Wheatstone bridge network. Here from the point A, that is from one end of the wire, I am connecting a battery to a key, and the other end is connected to the other end of the wire. This is the way how your meter bridge is constructed. This is your battery and this is. Now we are going for the working. We know what is the balancing bridge, which from bridge network P by Q equal to R by S. Here this P by Q equal to R by S. This PQ are your two resistance and this RS will be replaced by these two AJ and JC. How we will see now. First, when the key is on, current will be flowing in this direction in the circuit. It's a closed circuit now. Clear? Now already we have seen what is the difference between EMF and the potential difference. This cell will be having an EMF E. Clear? So this cell will be having a EMF E. Now using this jockey, what we are going to do, we are going to have a contact on this wire. So when I just keep the jockey at any point, what happens here? Here this galvanometer shows at a particular point the galvanometer shows zero deflection. What that means? This cell, this battery will be having an EMF E. Let that EMF be E. You know what is meant by EMF? It is nothing but the difference of potential between the two terminals of a battery. Here, when I keep the jockey at certain point, the galvanometer shows zero deflection. So, at these 2 points, that is at AJ, here the difference of potential between these 2 points, that we call it as a potential difference in a closed circuit, will be equal to the EMF of the cell. When the potential difference is equal to the EMF of the cell, no current will be flowing. So, the galvanometer shows zero deflection. That is the balancing length now. For this unknown resistance, you find out what is the balancing length. By measuring, here I will be having a graduated scale. You take a graduate scale and measure the length AJ. So, this AJ will be, when it is equal to EMF of the cell, the galvanometer shows zero deflection. You find out that. Clear? Then, so for a particular resistance, we are going to find out what is the balancing length. Same thing I am going to repeat this. Now, even though this copper strips are connected, I am just connecting, soldering this manganese wire to a thick copper strip which is having a very low resistance. I will be having an N connection. Even though it is connected to it is soldered to a thick copper strip, I will have an N connection. To avoid that N connection, what we are going to do, we are going to repeat this experiment by interchanging the two resistance. One, this 2 comes here and the P goes to the right gap. So, by interchanging the two resistance, again I will find out what is the balancing length. So, P by Q will be equal to R by S. Here, this R and S are replaced by your AJ and JC. So, this will be equal to AJ into JC. So, since this is a cell, it will be having internal resistance. So, we should take into consideration when you are measuring the balancing length, its internal resistance of a cell. So, you multiply with this balancing length AJ, the internal resistance, that is small letter R, the cell resistance per unit length of the meter bridge wire. So, these two get cancelled when I multiply. So, finally, I will be getting P by Q equal to AJ by JC. Here, this AJ and JC are nothing but your balancing length. It will be easily found out by your graduated scale. Let AJ be L1 and JC be L2. So, by measuring these two, I found out what is the balancing length. And I know what is meant by P and what is Q, I don't know. Q is the known resistance we have given. What resistance value you are giving? For that you can easily calculate, because here I am using a standard resistance. But P, this is a wire, your experimental wire whose resistance is not known. So, using this meter bridge network or meter bridge instrument, I can find out the resistance of the given wire. So, P equal to L1 by L2 into Q. So, this is the way we are going to find out the resistance of the given wire. Here it is. Now, I can also find out the specific resistance of this given wire. What is the formula for that? Symbol for specific resistance is rho. Rho equal to P pi R square by L, where L is the balancing length. Here L is the length of the meter bridge wire, L equal to 1 meter. P is the resistance of the given wire. That one we are going to calculate using this formula. And pi is a constant value, R is the radius of the given wire, that you are going to calculate using your screw gauge. So, by substituting all this value, I can also find out the specific resistance of the given wire. How to avoid the small error due to the soldering? What we are going to do to eliminate the error? Here we are going to interchange the two resistors. Again you are going to take a set of reading. So here the standard resistance you just keep, increase the resistance value. For each resistance value you are going to find out the balancing length. Same way you are going to repeat by interchanging the two resistance. This is the way how we are going to find out the resistance and the specific resistance of the meter bridge wire. Then potentiometer. Potentiometer is another experiment. It is used to measure the potential difference. Here also we are going to use the same principle only. Using potentiometer wire, we are going to measure the potential difference. We will see what is the principle of potentiometer and how to compare the EMF of the given two cells using potentiometer. Yeah, this potentiometer wire, it consists of 10 meters of wire which are placed uniformly parallel to each other in a wooden cardboard. Yeah, I have the potentiometer wire. Let the starting point be A. It is stretched uniformly like this. All the wires are parallel to each other. So each length is of 1 meter. So see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this